If you clicked on this video, you're probably a beginner or young artist trying to get your foot in the door of the money-making art world. One very essential tool is a commission sheet. Basically, it's an image or series of images that shows examples of your art and the prices you want to charge in exchange for making that art. How to present your commission sheet and where to look for customers is an entirely different beast and topic. But for today, I'm going to give you some tips to make your actual commission sheet stand out. I'll be doing this from the perspective of both a fellow artist and an art buyer. First, what is the purpose of a commission sheet? Is it A, to tell the customer your prices, B, to show the customer what you can draw or create, C, to tell the customer all of your commission information, or D, it depends on the artist? Now, technically all of these are correct, but the ultimate answer is B, because if you want to attract new customers, the first thing you want to show them is in fact your art. Think of your commission sheet as packaging for a product. All of the fun and advertising is in the front, and all of the warning labels, instructions, and other business is in the back. When I'm scrolling through 100 plus commission inquiries, I look right past stuff like this, because my eye is drawn to pretty and bold colors like this. So the takeaway from this is that your commission sheet should mostly consist of your art and best examples, not text. So where does that pesky text go? Before that, let's establish what you need and don't need to write in your commission sheet. Prices. Prices should go right next to the art. Those are the most important text information on a commission sheet, and numbers are easy for most people to process. Make sure it's easy to tell which picture costs what and in which currency. On a side note, most of you have to raise your prices, at least minimum wage yourselves, but that's a separate video. Wills and won'ts. What you will and won't draw. Don't write essays for this part. Short, quick bullet points are the best way to go about it. If people have questions, you can elaborate in private conversations. Pro tip. I've seen some people write can and can't do for this section, and that shows me a lack of confidence. You don't have to tell me why you will or won't do something. Maybe you truly can't, or you just plain don't want to. That's fine too. Word choice for your entire sheet is important. Even if you yourself may not feel like it, you have to present yourself as a pro that is confident in their art. Next thing to include is payment methods. Definitely write down how you want to get paid before or after you start drawing and with what service. But you don't have to tell me your payment contact info address here. Save that for the conversation with your customer. It helps keep your info safe and takes text out of your commission sheet. Now, contact info is a little iffy for me. Depending on what platform you use, it can be safely implied that you're going to use that platform's messaging system. If you have special contact requests, other social media platforms that you're more active on, or an email should you write it down for people. Otherwise, a simple "send me a message" will do the job. Speaking of safe, type out the terms of service somewhere for your customers to read. With NFTs going rampant, it's important to write up the terms in an accessible place to protect your work. Maybe not directly on your commission sheet, but have them ready to be read. Here are a couple of simple do's and don'ts based on some of the things I've seen. Don't include your life story or past interactions. "I was scammed, so I want payment up front" is just unprofessional. It may feel like you're justifying yourself, but you don't need to justify or give reasons why you're setting your policies a certain way. As a customer, that's not my business, and frankly, I don't care. Do add little icons or imagery in text-heavy portions of your commission sheet. A green circle or red X, chibis in the corners, starts, hearts, or patterns. It doesn't have to be entirely new artwork, but it does really help take the load off reading off the brain and makes your commission sheet more fun to look and read. But don't go overboard. I've seen a couple that have added so much that their information became illegible. Whew. Now that we've covered what text to put in the commission sheet, where should it go? Back to the product packaging comparison. Your art should be at the forefront of it all. All of the warning labels and important info are always in the back, small and out of the way. Put this stuff at the end of the commission sheet, at the bottom of the page. If you can spread out the text, do so. Make it digestible at every opportunity you see. I've also seen people not even put all of that text stuff in their commission sheet at all. They sometimes put it in a separate comment or on another website entirely. Works for me. My eye gets caught on their art and prices, and I'm more likely to view more of their stuff. When you walk into a store, you look at the product, pick it up, look at the price, and only then, last step in the process, do you start to think about where the register is and how to pay, right? Same principle. Another important tip. Make the last words on your commission sheet positive. People usually cling to the very last thing they read from anything as their memory of that item. The last words on your commission sheet should leave them with good memories of your work. For example, have a nice day, or a catchphrase that you've coined. Ending your sheet on no refunds or payment up front or something similar doesn't leave me with the best memory as I leave the page. That brings me to the last point I want to make. We've talked about what and where to put in your info, but how long should your commission sheet be and how much total content should it have? This is where stuff begins to depend on the artist. Some people just make character icons, while others can do anything from realistic backgrounds to 8-bit sprites. But definitely, have more than one example for whatever you do. I've seen so many commission sheets that only have character image with your typical head, half body, and full body, and nothing else. I want to see your delicious art. One character ain't gonna cut it. Also, keep in mind which platform you're going to showcase your commission sheet on. DeviantArt is going to have different size restrictions than Instagram, and Twitter Crop still isn't fond of the long strips. If you want to make a commission sheet that can be posted on many sites, it's a good idea to break it up into smaller, more ratio-friendly images rather than one long strip. Another pro tip. You can have more than one commission sheet. It's not illegal, I promise. This is mostly for artists who have a wider variety of skills and products. For example, let's say I like to draw 2D backgrounds, 8-bit pixel icons, and animated D&D tokens. If I see someone posting looking for a background commission, they're probably not going to want to scroll through my 8-bit and token info. If my commission sheets I separated, I can just slide them the 2D background info and simplify the process for both of us. Alright, that was a lot of info. Let's recap some of the major points. Your art should make up the majority of your commission sheet. Big, pretty pictures draw the eye in from a large pool of competition. Cut text and info dumps as much as possible while keeping the bare essentials. Have multiple examples of your work, and, if you can draw different things, divide it up by category. And as an extremely picky commissioner, here are some extra tips that I personally like to see when you comment on an inquiry. Don't make me go off-site. The more clicks I have to make to get to your art, the less likely I am to want to order from you. Your policies can be off-site, but in order to get me to a different page, you have to interest me with your examples on the original platform first. If I have to leave what I was scrolling through, I'm automatically less interested in buying from you. Another thing, DMing people. Unless the customer explicitly asks you to DM them your examples, do not send them a private message. It's just plain rude. And the last thing, raise your prices. Yeah, I said it already, but I'll say it again. You're actually hurting yourself and your fellow artists when you do this. Your art is worth a lot more than you think. Now check me out. You can't expect me to lecture on commission sheets without showing my own, right? Here is the first page. I do character reference sheets. Notice how I have multiple images and examples on the page with very minimal text and prices highlighted. On the second page, I have visual novel and VTuber assets. Once again, art takes up the majority of the page, and the overall Looks like a completed product from a game. The third page has dynamic illustration option. Since this category is flexible, the examples and prices aren't right next to each other, but it's still easy to tell what you'll be getting and for how much. Now the last page is where the housekeeping stuff is. I tried to divide the text up into boxes to make it easy for process, and there are textures and patterns on it to still make it interesting. Is this a perfect commission sheet? No. No such thing exists. But I do think it grabs people's attention and actively showcases what I'm capable of doing. Now this may be an old sheet, but I still have all of the individual layers to this saved. That way, if I ever want to edit my prices or catch a typo, I can just retype in the original file instead of remaking my entire sheet over again. Get in the habit of keeping your old work files for customers too, in case they ever want to come back to you. So what did you think? If you have any questions or commission advice, drop a comment down below. If you send me a message on Twitter, I can try to help by actually critiquing some of your sheets. My handle is in the description. Subscribe and like if you want more tutorials like this, and I'll see all of you degenerates next time. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck with all of your commissions.